Paul Blomfield next.
Okay, thanks, Chair. And I kind of want to pursue this a little bit, and I'll try to explore the sort of contradictions between what we're hearing from the industry and the objective drivers behind the alcohol industry. I mean, Andy, you started off by celebrating the fact that young people were drinking less, to your opening remark. If that trend continues, it's not in your interest, is it?
Well, it is when they're under 18. So, of course, we want...
so you're only defining young people as those under 18?
Yes.
Because some of the evidence is 18 to 21-year-olds, 18 to 24-year-olds are drinking less. So you don't celebrate that?
We celebrate that no under 18 should be drinking alcohol, and we're very supportive of that. For 18-year-olds and above, as we've talked about, if people drink within the CMO's guidelines, if people drink responsibly, if people drink moderately, lower strength products like beer, go to the pub, of course we celebrate that.
Well, I go to the pub and I recognise the description that you'd have of it earlier, but you think people should drink within the CMO guidelines?
Absolutely.
Okay. 68% of industry revenue comes from people drinking above the CMO guidelines, according to the Social Market Foundation. That's a big blow for your members if people comply with your advice, isn't it?
I mean, I think this is why we talked about no and low alcohol alternatives. This is why we talk about reformulating products. So we can still sell beer, and great beer, may not have any alcohol in it, but industry can still, maintain revenues, earn a profit, and do what they do. But I think, we have to, as society and as industry, be responsible, and we want to see people drinking within the guidelines.
What's your organisation and your members doing to actively promote to the people that drink in bars and pubs that they should be drinking within CMO guidelines? Well,
I mean, the majority have the CMO guidelines on the labels of their products, so everyone can see these. They have a link to DrinkAware or a responsibility message where people can get all that information about drinking within their guidelines, doing the audit tool. They follow the Portman Group Code in terms of marketing responsibly, in terms of making sure that any marketing of products, any promotion of products is done on a basis of moderation. And of course there's laws, so pubs shouldn't serve to people that are already drunk, people shouldn't buy alcohol for people that are already drunk. So there is a regulatory framework there, as long as all the sort of good practice work the industry do to champion that. And as I say, the big growth in no and low alcohol products is a huge opportunity.
But if 68% of industry revenue is coming from people drinking above the guidelines, you're not doing very well, are you?
Well, there's always more to do, but the statistics and the data all show things moving in the right direction.
I think the data shows the recent data is alcohol-related deaths are growing. But I'm sure there's lots of discussion we could have around data. Matt, I wonder if I can kind of pursue the same theme with you. There was an Alcohol Health Alliance report on labelling back in, I think, August 2020. You're nodding, you're obviously familiar with it. That said that 70% of labels didn't include the official up-to-date low-risk guidelines 3 years after they'd been updated. Now, that's across the sector.
Yep.
The same report said that Portman Group members, and you set yourself up as the kind of socially responsible industry leader in good practice, 70% in general, 98% of your members didn't comply with that. How did you react to that report?
It's wrong. It's completely wrong. We do a market survey on a regular basis. The stat was it the Chief Medical Officer's guidelines you mentioned specifically. So that last time we checked was standing at 79%. We're going to do the survey again this year. I'm confident that it'll be much closer to 90%. So that stat is wrong. In terms of adherence of the Portman Group members, funders, it's 100%. Absolutely, it's 100%. So that stat is completely wrong. But the vast...
In 2020, the Alcohol Health Alliance were completely wrong when they said that 98% of your members' labels at that point didn't include the official up-to-date low-risk guidelines.
No, that is wrong. That we don't recognise those figures, and they are wrong.
I'm sure we can follow that up with
we can. And
Alcohol
I'll
Health
happily share
Alliance.
with you our market research. So we found, our best practice guidelines advise the whole industry, to have pregnancy warning units advice, drink-aware logo, and Chief Medical Officer's guidelines. And
well, let me follow up specifically on pregnancy, because you were endorsing Sandra's comments earlier about the importance of guidelines. I mean, I'm referring to the same report, which obviously you're contesting. But that said that whilst 97% of labels displayed the pregnancy warning logo, only 15% actually set out information on risks. Do you recognise that imbalance?
risks in relation to pregnancy or generally?
During pregnancy, I think it's pretty clear.
Well, the piece of advice that we give is to carry the pregnancy warning.
Logo.
The logo, yeah.
Not. I mean, 15% of labels.
No, I'm not actually.
Credit to those who do it. 15% of labels at that point had information on the risks during pregnancy.
I think it's a good idea, but I don't know what the stats are for it. And I have difficulty with that survey because I don't recognise the other stats that you've mentioned. So.
You recognise that there is an imbalance between actually just carrying the logo and actually defining, setting out the risks, and you would think it would be good practice.
Well, I think
no, hang on. You think it would be good practice if the other 85% or whatever it is, so there was 100% compliance with setting out the risks of drinking during pregnancy.
I think that's a matter of choice for companies.
That's a matter of choice and not good practice. Okay.
Okay. So just to be clear, you're going to write to us in the follow-up to that exchange.
I can
with
happily
Mr.
share with you
Bradfield.
our own marketing survey most recently. Yeah.
Okay,
And where you think the Alcohol Health Alliance report was wrong.
I can say you can see, or I can point out where it diverges.
You're familiar with the report, so
Covering
let's
letter, attached report, great.